Hello friends, welcome to Math Time with Mrs. Idas. This week we are going to be learning about measuring and attributes, and we will be doing topic 12 in our math workbook this week. I am so excited. I love describing objects by thinking of different ways that I can measure them. So if we take a look here at these top pictures, we can see a milk carton right here. One of them is laying down, one of them is on top of a scale, and one of them is next to a measuring cup. So when we take a look at this first picture, we see the milk carton is laying down, and we see some cubes. So the picture is showing us that we can measure how long the milk carton is by counting the cubes. If we had a scale, we could measure how heavy the milk carton is based on how the scale moves up or down. And if we put something on this side of the scale that's heavier, then the milk carton will weigh less. If we put something on this side of the scale that is lighter, then the milk carton will weigh more. We can also take a look at a milk carton and a measuring cup and think about which one is taller, the milk carton or the measuring cup. So these are observations we can make to describe objects. So let's go ahead and begin. Let's take a look at star number 1 right here. Here is the milk carton. So how could I describe the object of the milk carton? Could I describe it by length, weight, and could I compare it? Yes, I can. So let's go ahead and get a crayon and circle the tools that we could use to describe the milk carton. So I could describe that it is 10 cubes long, just like the picture shows. So I can use cubes to measure the milk carton. I could put a milk carton on a scale and then put other objects to see its weight or if it's heavier or lighter than something else. So could I use a scale to weigh a milk carton? Yes, I could. And as we see in the picture, if I put the milk carton near the measuring cup, I could describe that the milk carton is taller or longer than the measuring cup. So yes, I could compare this object with a milk carton and a measuring cup. Okay, now let's think about this. Could I compare and measure with these objects and a trash can? Yes, I could. I could measure a trash can with cubes. I think I would have to use my cubes like this, vertically. But I could still measure a trash can with cubes, sure. Could I weigh a trash can? Maybe on a bigger scale, but I could compare, I could weigh it. And if I put it near a measuring cup, could I compare and describe that this would be taller than the measuring cup? Sure I could. Excellent. How about a book, friends? What do you think? What tools could I use to tell about the attributes of this book? Could I use cubes to measure how long it is? Yes. Could I weigh how heavy the book is and compare it to other objects that might weigh more or less? Yes, I can. Could I stand it up next to the book and see the length? I could, but let's also think about something else. So this is something we haven't talked about yet. If I took milk from the carton and I poured it into the measuring cup, I could see how many cups are inside of the carton, and that's capacity. If I had maybe water inside of the trash can and I poured the water into the measuring cup, I could see how many cups of water was inside the trash can. But think about the book now. Does the book hold water? Any type of liquid? Could I pour anything from the book into the measuring cup? No, I couldn't. So I think it's a better idea not to circle the measuring cup because I cannot measure if there's liquid or another substance inside of the book. So I'm not going to compare it with the measuring cup. These we could compare by height, but we could also compare what we could pour inside to measure. Have you ever baked with your grown-ups and maybe you had to measure milk or water or maybe vegetable oil into a measuring cup or flour or yeast? Yeah, so we would have to be able to pour something into the measuring cup, not only to compare an object with how tall it is, but how much it holds. So these are better to say a capacity holds much, okay? And we measure the capacity of the object. A book does not have liquid or flour in it. We can't pour anything into the measuring cup. So it's best not to use a measuring cup to make a comparison or a description of objects with a book. All right, friends? Let's go ahead and turn the page. All right, now, here is a glass. Okay, maybe a vase, maybe a cup. Now let's see. Could we measure how tall or how wide the cup is with cubes? Yes, we could. Let's circle it. Could we weigh how heavy the cup would be with water inside or even empty? Yes, we could. Now, if I had water inside of the cup, could I pour it into the measuring cup to see how much water is in there? How many cups or how many ounces? Yes, I could. I could also compare with measurements of how much water is inside. All right, excellent. Let's take a look at the lunchbox. Which objects could I use to describe the lunchbox? Either by length or by weight or by capacity. Length, weight, capacity. Yes, I could measure my lunchbox, how long, how wide, how tall it is with cubes. Could I weigh the lunchbox and see how heavy or how light it is compared to other objects? Yes, I could. Now, a sandwich is in this lunchbox. Could I pour a sandwich into a measuring cup? No, not really. So I don't think the measuring cup would be a tool that I would use to describe a lunchbox. How about an apple? Could I measure how long or how tall the apple is with cubes? Yes, I could. Could I put the apple here on the scale and weigh how heavy or how light it is if I put something else on the other side? Yes, I can. Now, an apple is something solid. Could I pour an apple into a measuring cup? No. Maybe if I squeezed and pressed the apple to extract the juice, then I could measure the juice of the apple, but not the solid whole apple. A measuring cup would not really work for that, would it? All right, how about a pencil, friends? Could I see how many cubes long a pencil could be? Yes. Could I weigh a pencil on a scale and compare it to something else to see how light or how heavy it is? Yes. All right, can I pour a pencil into a measuring cup? No, I can't. That would be so silly. Good job, friends. So let's continue our measurement exploration with 12-2 here. We're going to be comparing by length. So have you ever heard of the terms longer and shorter? Yes, you have. So we're going to take a look at objects that are pictured here. We have a paintbrush and a crayon, a spoon and a straw, a marker, an eraser, cubes and a pencil. This looks like maybe a ribbon and a feather. So what we're going to do here for star number 1 is we're going to circle the longer object and we're going to crisscross out the shorter object. So we can see here that the paintbrush is much longer than the crayon. So we're going to circle the paintbrush because it is longer. Can you say longer? Great. And we're going to X out the crayon because it is shorter. Shorter. Can you say shorter? Good job. So now for number 2, apple 2, and fishy 3, we're going to circle the longer object. So what's longer, friends? The spoon or the straw? The straw is longer. Excellent. Can you circle the straw and cross out the spoon? Good. Now let's take a look at the marker and the eraser. What is longer, the marker or the eraser? The marker. That's right, the marker is longer. The eraser is shorter. Okay, great job. Now, number 4 and number 5, let's cross out the shorter object first, okay? So what's shorter, cubes or a pencil? Cubes are shorter. That's right. What is shorter, a ribbon or a feather? That's right, a feather is shorter. So we know the pencil is longer and the ribbon is longer. Excellent. Let's go ahead and turn the page. We're going to continue comparing by length, all right? So let's take a look, and we're going to circle the longer object and crisscross the shorter object. But if the objects are the same length, we're going to underline them, okay? So let's see. I see, maybe this is a special kind of leaf. I see a short leaf and a long leaf. What do I do with the short leaf? That's right, I cross it out. What do I do with the long leaf? I circle it. That's right. All right, let's compare sticks. Is the top stick longer or shorter? Longer, so let's circle it. And the bottom stick is shorter, so we're going to cross it out. Wow, look at these paper clips linked together. I see 2 paper clips and I see 3 paper clips. How many paper clips show me the shortest length? 2, that's right, 2 paper clips is shorter. And 3 paper clips is longer. That's right. Hey, look at these 2 crayons. These 2 crayons look like they are the same length. So what do we do if an object is the same length? We underline them. Line, line. These are the same length. Wow, let's give them a little star since they're the same length. Okay, let's look at popsicle sticks. I see a popsicle stick on the top and the bottom. The popsicle stick on the top is longer. The popsicle stick on the bottom is shorter. Excellent, friends. Thank you for helping me compare different objects and describe them and use the words longer and shorter. I'll see you next time. Bye now.